What's up everyone, this is Sean, your physical therapy application coach. In this video, I'll be referencing some worksheets that you can use to help make your application process as simple and efficient as possible. To get access to these free worksheets and receive my monthly newsletter, bonus, pause the video and click on the link in the description down below. It will take you to my website where you can sign up to join my email list. Also, if you find the information in my videos to be valuable, go ahead and click on that subscribe button so you can keep up to date when I post new content. Now, let me get out of your way so you can enjoy the video. Let's get going with volunteering, extracurriculars, and work. We're going to take a brief moment to have a Big Rocks recap here. We've punched through the GPA and the shadowing and observation sections. So, GPA, shadowing and observation, and in the future we'll talk about the GRE. As I've mentioned previously, these are the big gatekeepers. These are the ones, the metrics that people are going to look at to say, all right, do we invite this person to come for an interview? So these are crucial and so important that you spend a lot of time getting these things right. And these next sections we're going to be talking about with your volunteering, extracurriculars, research opportunities, and leadership opportunities. These are things that are going to set you over the bar, that are going to say, yes, we absolutely want them to come for an interview, and they're going to be items of discussion in the interview that will make you stand out from other applicants. A quick moment for innovation. So, as you're observing and shadowing, start asking yourself some questions. How could I improve on the delivery of PT as a product? What are the most challenging things about physical therapy for patients? Is there a population group that you think we could better serve or market to? As you start formulating these different ideas, and then you couple this with the knowledge that you gain in school, you will be able to become an innovator. Someone who's bringing new ideas, methods, and products to the physical therapy marketplace. And it all starts with your ideas. And then you couple that with knowledge and effort and your desire. And not only can you make a big difference in people's lives, this can lead to significant income in the future. So here's our review from calls to action. I'm not going to spend too long on this. Hopefully you've completed these. So there's already a lot that we've thrown at you. There's a lot that I've thrown at you about things that you should do to use your time. The whole point of this course is to help you most effectively manage your time so you can get into school. So yes, there's a lot to do, but these are the things that are going to give you the best bang for your buck. So now that we've gone through and we've kind of built up those primary foundational layers, we're going to add some more things to this to give the cherry on top. So how much volunteering do I add to my plate? If you're currently volunteering on a regular basis, that's awesome. You get it. Because you want to paint a picture of who you are as a person with your application. If you did 10 hours, not 10 minutes, that wouldn't even be worth documenting. If you did 10 hours of volunteering at the very beginning of your freshman year and you haven't done anything since then, that doesn't really indicate that you're a very altruistic person. You're not someone who cares a lot about others. You devoted most of your time towards yourself. But if you've done an hour to 30 minutes a week for 2 years, that's going to look a lot better than 20 hours over the course of 2 weeks. It's going to show that you consistently make small efforts to give back and to help out. So here's some math. If you do 30 minutes a week of volunteering for 4 years, that gives you over 100 hours of volunteering. That doesn't seem like very much of a sacrifice at all. That's like an episode of The Office or How I Met Your Mother or Parks and Rec. Whatever show that you watch. you give up an episode of that, you can go volunteer. And that's just one time a week. Same thing, if you do an hour a week, that's 210 hours. And you might ask, well, why does this make a difference? Because if you have over 100 plus hours, you are really, really going to stand out as an applicant. Anything is better than nothing. I don't want you to sit there and be like, oh my gosh, there's no way I'm applying in 2 months and there's no way that I'm going to be able to get enough hours. Don't stress, don't worry, but anything is better than nothing. I'm just giving you the ideal so that way you can be in a great spot to be able to move on and get an interview. So where can I find places to volunteer? A lot of these are the same sources from our circle of influence that we pull from for all of our questions. The different ones I want to talk about are the Campus Volunteer Student Body Organization. You can look for these different groups that they might provide you a funnel with a bunch of different organizations that your university partners with to provide volunteers. Another couple of things are humanitarian trips. A lot of times schools will offer study abroads that have humanitarian purposes attached to them. And these are great, fantastic speaking points that you can be able to share in an interview. Volunteermatch.org and United Way. Also, if you can't find anything in your community where you can consistently go, these provide you with a ton of different options where you can go online and select the different areas you would like to focus on, and they show you opportunities and people to contact in your community. So there's no excuse. You can always find something. Now, extracurriculars. This shouldn't be very hard because a lot of these are going to be things that you're interested in or are very worthwhile for your time. If you're on a college sports team and you show that you can maintain good grades, get shadowing hours, and basically have a full-time job as a college athlete, that's a huge feather in your cap, and you want to record the hours that you're spending as a collegiate athlete. All these other things as well. If you're involved in the pre-PT club, music group, comedy, any of these clubs, this is not an exhaustive list by any means. This is just to show you it doesn't really matter as long as it's worthwhile and it's something that's showing that you're investing in yourself or you're giving back to other people, then that's great. Working. It's just good for you. Let's just face it. There's so many good lessons that come from working, especially while you're in school, because it helps you learn how to balance life and a job. That's the way things are going to be forever. So if you're already working, awesome. If you think you might have some time and you could get a part-time job on campus, go for it. Make some money, save some money. It's all good. And these things are going to look good on your application. Schools want to see that you're managing and using your available time well. This doesn't mean that every second of your day needs to be spent on worthwhile activities to get into PT school. But let's be honest, a lot of us waste a great deal of time, even when we're in class. We're on Facebook, we're looking up things on the internet, when we could be focusing on more worthwhile things. So going to class absolutely is worthwhile, and that's a given. But on top of that, we can show that we're committed to giving back to the community, bettering ourselves, and helping those around us. Work also gives you an opportunity to ask your boss for a letter recommendation. And if you're working as a tech at a PT clinic, you're going to log your hours as observation hours, and you're not going to log them necessarily as work hours. But if you have a job outside of PT, you can ask this boss for a letter of recommendation that gives the people reviewing your application a totally different perspective outside of physical therapy to gauge what kind of person you are. Very useful. So logging all of these hours, whether it's your volunteering hours, your extracurricular activity hours, or your work hours. The reason why you're going to do this is because when the time comes for you to log into PTCast and to start inputting all of your information, I promise you the last thing you're going to want to do is to go back over the course of the past 2, 3, 4 years and start thinking about, how many volunteering experiences have I had? How many hours did I work at that job that I had for the summer? How many times did I attend that club? You don't want to have to fuss with that. And if you just slowly over time are managing this and logging your hours, writing down meaningful experiences that you have, this is going to be a huge benefit for you. You'll go into PTCast, you'll plug in your hours, it'll take you 5 seconds. And then on top of that, when it comes time for you to prepare for interviews and to write your personal essays, you have a huge bank of experiences to pull from all these different aspects of your life. So it's a huge benefit. And again, I've made another log for you, and we'll go over that at the end of this video. So, some calls to action. Track down some places to volunteer. Go back over those sources and just nail down some places to go, and then start volunteering. Reflect and ask yourself if you're using your time to the best of your ability, if you're being as efficient as you can. Could you start volunteering a little bit more? Could you get involved in some worthwhile extracurriculars, or maybe even pick up a part-time job? You don't have to drastically overhaul your life, but it just might stand some reason to ask yourself if there's anything you can change. Log and input your hours. Not only are you going to want to put in your hours currently, but if you have hours you want to log from before, absolutely put those down. And then reflect on any meaningful experiences that you have and include those in your log. So here's the log. Nothing crazy, very simple Excel sheet. Just going to include your date, hours, what happened, what did you do, what did you learn from this experience, will what I learned change how I think or interact with others, did I learn anything about myself from this experience, and then the PT core values. So it's very similar to the patient log that we included for you, and you absolutely don't have to use all these questions. I just put these down here to kind of get your brain thinking in a way that will extract memories and information that will be useful for you preparing for interviews and for your essays. So, I got a bunch of different ones, and I've only got 4 organizations listed here. I'm sure there's a bunch that you're involved in, but feel free to copy and paste this. And again, the APTA core values are right here. And you just look at these and see if what you did or the experience that you had matches up with these, and include that in this right here.